Good afternoon. Welcome to Africa Today. I am Wisdom Onisi. First, the headlines. End bad governance organizers plan 1 million man protest in 36 states, FCT, Saturday. UN counter-terrorism chief sounds alarm on ISIS in Africa. Mozambique ex-finance minister convicted in US over tuna bonds. And on sport, Chelsea Arsenal withdraw from signing Osimhen. Now the news in details. As the End Bad Governance nationwide protest fizzles out, many Nigerians, especially in the north, will live with the wound, scars and financial losses for a long time to come. The protest against economic hardship, which started August 1st, continued even after President Bola Tinubu called for an end to the demonstrations that faced a crackdown from security forces who reportedly shot at the protesters in various states in the northern part. The cost of living crisis was fueled by surging inflation and government economic policies that pushed the naira to record low lows against the dollar. At least 17 persons were reportedly killed in Abuja, Kano, Niger, Borno, Kaduna, and Jigawa, with several others injured on the opening day of the protest against the nation's worst cost of living crisis in a generation and against the corruption and alleged bad governance that have stifled its development. The country's security forces have been accused of using excessive force in the nationwide protest. And even though Muyiwa Adejobi, the Nigerian police force spokesperson, admitted instances of killings during the protest, he claimed none were carried out by the police. However, the Nigerian Army, through its spokesperson, Major General Onyema Nwachukwu, admitted on Wednesday that one of its soldiers killed a teenager, Ishmael Mohammed, in Zaria, Kaduna State, thus admitting that security agencies deployed to monitor the activities of the End Bad Governance protesters across the country used live bullets on protesters. Away from that, we have you know that in another development, the Take It Back movement, one of the key organizers of the End Bad Governance nationwide protest, has scheduled Saturday for a 1 million man protest in all the 36 states and the Federal Capital Territory, FCT Abuja. Samuel Joan, national coordinator of the movement, stated this in a statement on Thursday in Abuja. He said the Take It Back movement, side by side with other organizers and organizations, will on August 10th lead a monumental 1 million man protest in each of the 36 states of Nigeria and the Federal Capital Territory, FCT Abuja. According to the statement, the event will mark a critical juncture in the nationwide bad governance in Nigeria in a campaign which began on August 1st, 2024. It started as a planned day-tent protest, but has evolved into sustained and widespread movement, drawing participants from every corner of Nigeria and the diaspora. We also have you know that the chairman, Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission, ICPC, Musa Adamu Aliyu, has observed that corruption remains one of the most significant impediments of Nigerian development. He added that it erodes trust in public institutions, undermines the rule of law, and stifles economic growth. Speaking on Thursday while delivering a keynote address at the ongoing International Law Conference organized by the Faculty of Law, Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria, he stated that an estimated 87 million bribes amounting to 700 billion naira were paid, adding that the frequency of bribes are higher in rural areas than in urban areas. The ICPC chairman, who spoke on law and contemporary secretarial issues, navigating challenges and opportunities, also explained that corruption was not only a legal issue but also a social problem that required a comprehensive and sustained approach. He stated that in a recent survey by the Nigerian Bureau of Statistics, corruption ranked fourth among the most critical problems affecting the country in 2023 after cost of living, insecurity, and unemployment. Now we move to other parts of Africa after this break. Please stay with us. Welcome back. News from other parts of West Africa. The Islamic State extremist group is escalating its threat level amidst the political unrest in West Africa and the Sahel, and it remains focused on conducting attacks abroad. A senior UN counter-terrorism official informed the Security Council on Thursday that a large area of Africa might come under the influence of the Islamic State and related terrorist groups. In a regular briefing to the Council, Voronkov, the Under-Secretary for Counterterrorism, reported that affiliates of the ISIS group have expanded and reinforced their operational zones in West Africa and the Sahel. He indicated that the terrorism landscape in West Africa and the Sahel remains challenging and complex. Terrorist groups continue to expand in the Sahel and inflict high casualties, undermining regional stability.
The terrorism landscape in West Africa and the Sahel remains challenging and complex. Terrorist groups continue to expand in the Sahel and inflict high casualties, undermining regional stability. Two of the Daesh affiliates in the region, the Islamic State West Africa province and the Islamic State in the Greater Sahel, have expanded and consolidated their areas of operations. Should these groups extend their influence in northern littoral states, a vast territory stretching from Mali to northern Nigeria could fall under their effective control.
Voronkov stated that two Daesh affiliates in the area, the Islamic State West African Province and the Islamic State in the Greater Sahel, have broadened and strengthened their operational territories. Voronkov also mentioned that ISIS group affiliates have expanded their operations in various parts of the continent, including Mozambique, Somalia, and the Democratic Republic of Congo. Away from that, Burkina Faso junta has urged its citizens to report suspicious neighbors and activities in the name of national security as the Sahel nation battles a near-decade-long jihadist insurgency. The Minister of Security reiterates this call for increased vigilance from the vigilant population of Burkina Faso and urges them to report any suspicious individual, movement, or object, the Security Ministry said in a statement on Thursday. It warned citizens against parking for long periods of time near sensitive sites, taking photographs of sensitive installations, and providing information such as security forces' position, sites, or strategic routes that could facilitate a terrorist attack. It also urged citizens not to rent out cars or houses without collecting adequate information about the leases. Burkina's military leader, who seized power in 2022, could have faced criticism from rights groups over measures they have taken in the name of national security. Let's have you know that global temperatures eased slightly in July, bringing an end to a 13-month streak of heat records as El Nino weather system ebbed.
Even if we are slightly below what we were a year ago, the global temperature is still at near record levels. So the global picture is not that much different from where we were a year ago. The global sea surface temperature has been at record or near record levels for the past more than a year now, has been an important contributing factors to this record or near record global average temperature.
However, scientists at the European Climate Agency, Copernicus, say there is no cause for celebration. At an average of 16.91 degrees Celsius, it is still the second hottest month on the record after July last year. Other records were set in July, including the two hottest days on record, each averaging about 17.16 degrees Celsius. So July was also a record month in its own way, even if the average over the whole month is slightly below that of July 2023, says Copernicus. We move to other parts of Africa after this break. Please stay with us.
This is Hillstv. Quality broadcasting is what we'll bring to you. Now we be this
Hillstv, Polka.
Welcome back now. News from other parts of Africa. A former Mozambique finance minister was convicted on Thursday on U.S. criminal charges over his alleged involvement in a fraud involving $2 billion in loans to Free State-owned companies to develop the African nation's fishing industry. Jurors found Manuel Chang guilty of conspiracy to commit wire fraud and conspiracy to commit money laundering in the Tona Bonds case following a 3-week trial in federal court in Brooklyn, New York. Chang plans to appeal the verdict, defense lawyer Adam Forge told newsmen outside the courtroom. We also have that Somalia's cabinet approved a bill on Thursday that, if confirmed by parliament, will revert the country's election system to universal suffrage for the first time in decades, ending a process of indirect voting, the government spokesperson said. Amidst widespread insecurity caused by an Islamic insurgency and weak state structures, in recent years lawmakers voted for the president, while clan heads and elders elected lawmakers in both the federal government and the regional states. The countries had initially been scheduled to move to direct voting in 2020, but protracted quibbles among politics across the country forced the government to retain the indirect ballot. The election rules will lead the country to one person, one vote nationally, government spokesperson Farhan Jamel said in a statement. This will give the citizen the power to vote and elect for the first time after 55 years. It is a historic day, he added. Up next is business. Please stay with us. Welcome back now to business news. The Nigerian Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission is set to amend the Domestic Obligation Regulation 2023. The commission stated this in a notice signed by the Chief Executive of the NUPRC, Benga Komolafe, on Thursday. According to NUPRC, the National Data Repository Regulation will also be reviewed. In the notice, the Commission said it wanted to consult with stakeholders for their input, in line with Section 216 of the PIA 2021, which requires the Commission to consult with stakeholders before finalizing regulation or amendment to regulations. Still on business news, the Egyptian pound is falling against foreign currencies, approaching 50 per US dollar after a recent increase in metro fares and fuel prices. The currency hit 49.16% per US dollar on Tuesday, the Central Bank of Egypt said on its website. In June and July, the Egyptian pound fluctuated between 47 and 48 per dollar after its IPO in March and lost about 60% of its value, falling to around 30 per dollar. The new exchange rates come a week after the International Monetary Fund completed its third financial review of Egypt, authorizing the government to draw down 820 million US dollars to the amount. The amount is part of an 8 billion US dollars bailout loan to support Egypt's struggling economy, which has been hampered by a shortage of foreign currency, soaring inflation, and unrest in the Red Sea caused by attacks by Yemen's Houthi rebels. Recent efforts by the Egyptian authority to restore macroeconomic stability have started to show positive results. Inflation remains high, but it is declining. A flexible exchange rate regime remains the cornerstone of the authority's program, the IMF said last week. Still to come is sport. Please stay with us. Welcome back now to Sport News. Real Madrid manager Carlo Ancelotti will revert to its favored 1-3-3 formation next season, according to AS. Ancelotti is ready to unleash an attack trident of Kylian Mbappe, Rodrigo goals, and Vinicius Jr. Rodrigo appeared to be the forward who would miss out following Mbappe's arrival. The 23-year-old was linked with a move away from the Bernabeu this summer, with Manchester City believed to be keen. But Ancelotti and the La Liga club have assured the Brazilian that he would play a prominent role in attack. Rodrigo will likely play from the right, with new boy Mbappe deployed through the middle, while Vinicius operates from the left. Real Madrid begin their campaign with the UEFA Super Cup club clash against Atlanta next Wednesday before traveling to Monaco Indian League opener on Sunday. Still on sport news, Chelsea and Arsenal have put out of race to sign Victor Osimhen. Italian transfer market expert Carrie Tosit revealed this to Casio Napoli 24. PSG and Chelsea have long targeted the Nigerian, but the Blues could not progress further over the player's massive release clause. This gave Arsenal the opportunity to enter the race to sign the former Lille of France striker. The Blues' deal for Osimhen would have seen Romelu Lukaku join Napoli on a permanent deal. However, Celo Trust now reports that Chelsea have backed out after they saw Atletico Madrid forward Samu Omorodion as a replacement. Mikel Arteta's side wanted to hijack the deal, but have also followed their London counterparts in pulling out of the race. And that's your sport news on Africa Today. We move to the rest of the news after this break. Please stay with us.
This is Hillstv. Quality broadcast.